Obviously, it is never a goal to be fired from anything, but especially from set. But I did learn something very important on this set. Hi, I'm Venus Monique with Personal Powerhouse. Personal Powerhouse is where Christian women in film grow their careers with Jesus and integrity. Speaking of, I was standing in for Jennifer Garner on a feature film that was shooting where I live. If you don't know what that is, it's kind of like a double, but you don't get any screen time. So you go, you watch the actor do what they're doing, and then when they go to hair and makeup, you stand in. So the camera and sound and lights, everybody can get set up so that when that actor comes back, we're ready to go. And one day we ended up in a hotel. So I was watching the scene that they were about to do. And the actress that I was standing in for, this day it wasn't Jennifer Garner, it was a different brunette. But I'm watching them do their scene, and she was straddling, I think it was Adam Sandler. He was in the movie. I think he was the one on the bed. So she's straddling him on the bed. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to be straddling any dudes on the bed. So no, thank you. So I'm like, okay, well, what can I do to work around this? So when it came time to stand in for her, I did get on the bed. I made sure that my face and his face were in the same position. But what I did is I put my knees on one side of him instead of like straddling him. So I still made sure that the eye line was correct. I made sure that the lighting, like my face was where her face was going to be. So as I'm doing that, I hear whispers behind me, like from the crew, and I'm like, oh dear, we'll see how this goes. So we do it, they get lighting, they call her back in, and then a little bit later, production calls me and they're like, hey, what's going on here? So I tell them, and at some point, like my agent called me also while I was there, and she was like, hey, tell me about what happened. And I was like, yeah, this happened, and I'm not cool with that. And she's like, okay, well, she called production back, and that's when they had said, like, they've got to bring in another stand-in because they need to know that they can, I guess, like, trust that she's going to do what needs to be done or something like that. And I was like, okay, like, this is a bummer. Like, I enjoy standing in and enjoy being on set, but it is what it is. So I just said, okay, and went home, got fired. And I was like, all right, well, that was a good run. But then, when you know it, the next day I got a call from my agent and she was like, hey, production wants you back. And I was like, oh my goodness, Lord, thank you so much. So they truly called me back out there. I got to continue standing in. And it was just a reminder for me to know that I can stand up for my values and my boundaries and know that God's got me and that He sees me. And He didn't even have to bring me back, but it just felt like that extra goodness that comes out of being obedient is just a moment that I wouldn't forget because it was such a bummer to let go of that movie and that, standing in gig. But I also, like one of my acting coaches told me before, I need to be able to look back down my own mountain and be okay with everything that I've done. So not straddling that dude was me being like, you know what, when I look back, I'm not going to regret that. And I don't. And God honored it. So if you are in a sticky position, just know that you can stand up for things and you can stand up in a way that isn't ugly and isn't emotional, but just stand your ground and let the results be what they are. If you want to grow your acting career with integrity, I encourage you to join us in the Powerhouse Sisterhood Suite. Go to personalpowerhouse.com/suite, SUITE, and read more about it, see if it's a good fit for you. And then we'd love to have you join us. We're a bunch of Christian actresses across the nation and some international. And we just love getting together and truly building our businesses like professionals. So that is open to you if you're interested, and you're welcome to subscribe if you like videos like this.